Hello, I'm Courtney Holland. Welcome to Episode 4, Season 4 of Save Our Towns, a series designed to guide and inspire those who are working hard in Appalachia to build strong communities. The episodes, created by Outreach and International Affairs of Virginia Tech, aim to celebrate what is great about small towns and also connect you with experts, resources, and more. In this episode, your Example of Awesome story takes you deep into West Virginia. Then it's south to Pennington Gap, followed by Maxwell's number. To illustrate his number, Maxwell somehow convinced us that ice cream had to be involved. Your expert tip focuses on Appalachia's beautiful environs, and we'll also hear 5 authors express their affection for the land. As always, we close with 3 questions for our mayor. First, in our Example of Awesome story, Andrea Brunet delves into the success story known as Sustainable Williamson.
Williamson, West Virginia, is the first place the New York Times came after last year's presidential election to report on the improbability of bringing back coal. With roughly a quarter of the population living below the poverty line, people expressed hope that coal mining would reemerge. But even though the first West Virginia building made entirely of coal was erected here in 1933 as a publicity stunt, the view of coal as a lifeline is far from unanimous. Even years ago, town leaders saw a different future for Williamson, one not dependent on outside industry. Former Mayor Darren McCormick, faced with an expensive sewer crisis almost 10 years ago, orchestrated an unprecedented coming together of local forces to put his town on solid footing.
In the beginning of Sustainable Williamson, no one organization really is responsible for creating the change or creating the opportunity for change. It's a lot of different people with a common purpose or a common vision working together that are going to create that energy or synergy, really, that allows for lasting change to take effect.
Williamson's downtown is situated smack on the border with eastern Kentucky, between the Tug Fork of the Big Sandy River and the Norfolk Southern Railroad tracks. Sustainable Williamson, while in part focused on health, covers far more than just medical care in this town of 3,000. The overarching goal, making the town more prosperous. With obesity, chronic disease, and premature death rates here much higher than the national average, getting healthy had to be part of the equation.
But the group also set goals such as revitalizing a redevelopment agency to apply for grants.
Virginia Tech student Crystal Cook Marshall, who studies rural economies, praises the town's commitment to cooperate.
Certainly in a town that was termed the billion-dollar coal field, people didn't anticipate that they could come together around a different kind of vision, but also take that vision for health and wellness and balance it out into the current tourist sector with extreme sports. So, 5 years ago, people couldn't have anticipated this out of Williamson, West Virginia, and now they're nationally known and a shining example of what a small town can do to turn itself around.
You economic development people, come over here.
Federal officials have praised Sustainable Williamson as one of the best grassroots efforts around. Marshall says the success story has spread far beyond the region.
They have not been afraid to reach out and to go to conferences and to take chances to make allies and friends outside of the region. So in some ways it's become odd that they are maybe even better connected or well known outside of Appalachia than they are inside of Appalachia.
A community health center was built. The farmers market tripled its gross income over 3 years. And a runners club began to schedule more than just monthly events.
Meanwhile, as the town grew healthier, education and retraining leading to more highly skilled labor took place. The Williamson Health and Wellness Center was outfitted with solar.
Sustainable Williamson initially got its attention of funders and organizations because it was a grassroots, a bottom-up approach. There are several top-down approaches. So where those two things meet, the funders and the money on top and the grassroots organizations, the energy, the working people underneath, where that happens and gets together, that's where you're coming to the table and affecting lasting change.
With thousands of coal jobs disappearing from West Virginia in the last decade, it's no surprise that some people might wish to bring back a livelihood that spanned generations.
Not that the community would ever forget tradition, a new Hatfield-McCoy Museum opened here in May.
But Williamson found that things began to look up when the town looked beyond what might divide them politically to focus on life after coal.
Next, Melissa McEwen returns to Pennington Gap for your latest update.
Restoration of historic theaters is a trend in small towns looking to revive their downtowns. Southwest Virginia examples include the Rex Theater, Galax, the Lincoln Theater in Marion, and the Pulaski Theater in downtown Pulaski. Likewise, Pennington Gap leaders centered downtown revitalization on the renovated Lee Theater. Reopened in October 2013, the 500-seat theater is a venue for plays, movies, and music. Funded and managed by the town, the theater has become a hub of entertainment in Pennington Gap, and it helps the businesses too. Evidence of a business boost? Cars line the streets, and restaurants schedule extra workers to deal with the influx of customers before and after performances.
To be on a Saturday night downtown Pennington and see 300 to 400 people walk out of that theater right in your downtown, that's a huge impact for Pennington Gap. The theater has been a catalyst that we really needed here to hold us together and keep us going.
In addition to economic benefit, the zeal of volunteers shows that the theater also brings a morale boost to the community.
When you come to a show, if you see somebody working behind the counter, you see somebody cleaning, they're volunteering their time. And I've been so fortunate that people will call and ask, can they work? It's very rarely do I have to call somebody and ask them to work.
The people who take the tickets up, the people who works the concession stands, the people that the ushers to see, those are all community volunteer members that come in and just have a pure enjoyment of having the theater and being a part of something like that in town.
Building on the community's positive response, Lawson is seeking ways to entice new visitors through scheduling more events and adding screenings of recent blockbusters.
We still have people, even local, that's not been to the theater. You know, and I would say we have as quality shows as you go to Pigeon Forge or you go to Branson. I mean, we have those kind of shows.
It may be far-fetched to think of Pennington Gap as Southwest Virginia's Branson, Missouri. Even so, town leaders are committed to the Lee Theater as the focal point of the town's revival.
Are you ready for it? Maxwell's number created an occupational hazard for our intrepid graduate student. Brain freeze.
As everyone knows, 31 is the number of flavors of Baskin-Robbins ice cream. 31 also relates to something much more serious, a federal program to help cities and towns. I asked for my favorite. This isn't chocolate. In 31 states, the federal partnership has offered cities and towns planning assistance that centers on a 2-day community workshop under a program called Local Foods, Local Places. Building walkable neighborhoods, rejuvenating local economies, and promoting fresh local foods are the goals. A team of experts works with local community members to develop a plan of action. The plan promotes local food and neighborhood revitalization so dollars stay in the local economy, replacing transactions that take place hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from the town. So far, every state in Appalachia has collaborated with the Environmental Protection Agency to complete a customized project. Other organizations are involved as well, big federal agencies as well as smaller ones. This past May, more than a half dozen officials from federal agencies, Housing and Urban Development, USDA, the Appalachian Regional Commission, and the EPA came to Martinsville, Virginia to put on a workshop for a dozen people, including the mayor, the Chamber of Commerce, educational institutions, and small business owners. This year, EPA received funding to serve even more communities. To stay up to date on projects you might qualify for, check out the Smart Growth area of the Environmental Protection Agency website.
Your expert tip comes from Josh Kelly, a field biologist specializing in public lands who explains that preserving the environment can also help communities maintain jobs.
The root word of conservation is conservative. People forget that sometimes. And conserving our resources is a foundational conservative value that I share. And I think there's a false narrative that protecting the environment gets in the way of jobs and growth. The data do not support that. There are some tales out there about how it gets in the way, but it doesn't.
You can read a transcript of the complete interview at the Save Our Towns website, where Kelly gives an example of environmentally friendly industry. Click on the Connect with Experts tab. Next, can you believe that 5 different authors in less than a minute can paint a picture of Appalachia's rugged beauty? Here's what we recorded at the Appalachian Heritage Writers Symposium in summer 2017.
The views are fantastic. There's a peace in the Appalachian Mountains that I've never felt anywhere else.
The physical beauty of the place, it's just gorgeous. The mountains are beautiful, the water, the rivers.
It speaks to maybe what it really is to be American, to understand the land, to live and be part of the land, not just to review and think of the land as a resource, but to know that the place is sacred.
There's a specialness just about the hills. I mean, I'm in love with the hills.
The undiscovered Virginia. It's a lot like the South Side in ways. I mean, you get out over into Mecklenburg County and around Bugs Island Lake, or over into Halifax County and some of the rivers and creeks over there, and you'll be out into the wilderness. Well, that's the same experience you're going to find here, whether you're going to Burke's Garden or whether you're going to Cumberland Gap, whether you're going to go to Rye Cove, the Cove, or Elk Garden. There's something beautiful and nurturing about this particular region.
And now a reminder about Virginia Cooperative Extension. Extension agents and specialists live and work around the Commonwealth, dedicated to subjects such as land management, youth development, and financial planning. On the Save Our Towns website, click on the Extension tab. There you can learn much more. You'll find extension agents listed along with their areas of expertise and contact information. Next, we return to the heart of Hatfield-McCoy country to ask 3 questions of the mayor.
I am Charlie Hatfield. I am mayor of the city of Williamson, West Virginia. Coal. Coal is a variable that we can't control. The economy has ticked away from coal and the production's down, and that means revenue is down for the city. Our city runs on the business and occupation tax of the businesses and industry that's here, and they've had severe cutbacks. And that's been the first problem I've tried to address, is our budget problems. We've had to sadly cut some positions. I've taken efforts to review all the contracts the city has, because some of them were originated 10 years ago, and the city's not in the position it was 10 years ago. So it's been a huge challenge in the financial aspect of the city, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Every town probably says this, but it's true here. Our people are our greatest resource. We have a beautiful environment, our trail activity for people who are ATV enthusiasts and others that love the environment, and our beautiful hills and valleys. I think they come here and find that, and I think our people match that as well, and that's what I want people to know. It's a friendly, wonderful place to be, and we have some really great people here.
Would you like to nominate your town for an Examples of Awesome story? If so, we'd love to hear from you. To view past episodes and to dive deeper into resources and a wealth of information about small towns, go to the Save Our Towns website. And please send your thoughts to saveourtowns@vt.edu. We read and respond to every email. This is episode 4 of season 4. Be sure to join us next time. Thanks for watching.